moving forward on a trade agreement with China is a big thing, not a small thing. Canadians understand how important it is to get it right.
It was a tumultuous day all around in Beijing, but the signs the deal would not get done came almost right from the start. Katie Simpson has the story of what happened both in front and behind the cameras tonight.
Before the Prime Minister's most important meeting of the day, there were clear signs of trouble ahead. Chinese authorities blocked a Canadian news crew from recording a photo op with China's premier. And when their discussion ran unexpectedly long, Chinese officials abruptly canceled the planned leaders' news conference. Each leader would only read a statement. All signs both countries were not ready to celebrate taking trade talks to the next level.
I'm pleased that we'll continue our exploratory discussions toward a comprehensive trade agreement between Canada and China. We believe that done properly, a trade agreement will benefit both countries.
A government source with direct knowledge of the discussions tells CBC News one of the sticking points is that Canada won't compromise on its progressive proposals. Justin Trudeau has openly said trade deals with Canada must include labor standards, gender rights, and environmental protections. Premier Li Keqiang acknowledged that China and Canada don't see eye to eye on issues like human rights and rule of law, but he didn't dismiss working together as long as there's mutual respect, adding this is the golden era of Canada-China relations. Canada's status as a G7 country is attractive to China, which is looking to build influence on the world stage. And it's that drive that will likely push these talks past this setback.
We would be the first G7 country with which they would negotiate a free trade agreement. This would confirm that they are the new champion of globalization now that the U.S. is retrenching.
It's already Tuesday here in China, and it looks like Trudeau could be in for more difficult conversations today. Just a few kilometers from here, Trudeau is meeting with Canadian and Chinese business leaders who had wanted to see more progress on potential free trade talks during this visit. Katie Simpson, CBC News, Beijing.
Trudeau didn't walk away exactly empty-handed from Monday's meetings with the Chinese premier. The two leaders announced a deal to boost some key Canadian exports, canola, beef, and pork. They also signed agreements on educational and climate change initiatives. Free trade talks or not, though, Canada has already caught the interest of China. Chinese enterprises have poured about $45 billion into our economy over the last decade. That might seem like a huge number, but what in reality is the scale and scope of that Chinese investment right here? Canadians certainly believe China has influence. In one survey, Canadians estimated that China made up 25% of foreign direct investment into this country. In fact, that number is only about 3%. Some context, the UK makes up about 5% of investment here, and the US is at about 50%. That's in part because of a longer economic relationship with Canada, but that could soon change because of the incredible growth of the Chinese economy.
Within a decade, China will have the largest economy on the planet. And whether we like it or not, we have to learn to live with them.
But China has restrictions that block Canadian investors from key industries. And while Canada does require Chinese investors pass national security tests, the reality experts say is that China has much more open access to our economy.
It may change as the Chinese become more confident that they can stay ahead without erecting all these barriers.
The fact is, Canada needs China more than the other way around.